What's going on, y'all? I want to talk about something that's been going viral all over social media. Just last weekend, Trump had this UFC event at the White House, and the UFC fighter Josh Hokett, who had just won, had made a joke about Michelle Obama calling her a man, which was disrespectful, racist, and kind of desperate. And there had been talks about how Michelle Obama was going to sue him for defamation of character, but that's just internet noise. There's no credible evidence of that. But the whole rumor about Michelle Obama being a man, that's nothing new because they've been saying that for years. But that still doesn't excuse the racist intent behind that rumor because she was the first black lady in the White House, which is the main reason why she's been getting a lot of disrespect because nobody's saying these things about Trump's wife or any of these other presidents' wives. And this constant attack on Michelle Obama, I mean, this shit is getting old. I know I'm not the only one who's feeling that way. And I just feel that this whole shock factor era of the internet may finally be hitting a brick wall. And to really understand why the situation went down the way it did, you got to go back and look at the history because when Barack Obama won the presidency, it fucked a lot of people up. This man came into the White House to heal the nation for everybody, which meant getting us out of a financial crisis, bringing back jobs, passing the Affordable Care Act. Yet there was still this loud group of people who only saw a president who didn't look like them and they just couldn't handle it. And that political whiplash is the exact reason why this the whole culture shifted so fast to where it eventually led up to Trump getting back in office. You know, to where he's going to post a video about Obama and Michelle portraying them as apes, to where that Congressman Al Green had to protest against it, holding up a sign at the State of the Union address saying black people aren't apes, and he was escorted out. And when I say that this is the most racist administration in the history of America, I mean, think about it. It's like we got Nazism, white supremacy, white nationalism, folks who don't like me or any other minority. And some of these folks could be co-workers or just people we see in stores who we may nod and greet when we walking past them, who probably don't tell us that they don't like us. You know, they hated the fact that Obama spent 8 years in the White House, and it's gotten so toxic that they even started to attack the man's wife. And for years now, it seems like the easiest way for a fighter or an internet personality to get famous overnight is to tap into that exact division, you know, by saying the craziest, most offensive shit possible, you know, be a jerk, be an asshole, be a racist, go trigger the internet, get people mad, and boom, your follow account goes up and the executives write you a bigger check. It was a formula that worked for a while. But this time I'm feeling that the trick backfired because this fighter, Josh Hokett, just had the biggest win of his life. He knocked out Derek Lewis on the White House lawn with the whole world watching. He had everybody's respect. But the second he took that microphone and instead of talking about his journey or his victory or whatever, he chose to repeat that same old tired, dusty internet rumor about Michelle Obama being a man. A rumor that was born right out of that initial 2008 political whiplash when people simply couldn't handle seeing a black family in the White House. And as soon as he said that, the crowd's reaction told you everything. I mean, some people laughed, but it was kind of like you had this weird mix of a few people cheering, some people booed, and then there was this sudden awkward silence. There was no massive unifying roar of approval. I mean, the whole entire vibe just felt heavy and uncomfortable. You know, even a crowd that was totally on the side didn't roar. They groaned. It was awkward because, like, what does Michelle Obama have to do with UFC? I mean, that random ass, unprovoked insult didn't make him look like a rebel at all. It just made him look like a guy who was just trying way too hard to be edgy by using a joke that's almost 2 decades old. You know, he thought he was going to get big roars and cheers from the crowd like, yeah, yeah, but he got hit with a wall of groans instead because people are getting tired of the constant act. We want to see great fights, not guys acting like angry internet trolls the second they get a camera in their face because this Hokett dude, Josh Hokett, he had a chance to look like a superstar, but instead he threw away his big moment just to diss the first black lady trying to chase cheap, outdated clout. And it wasn't just the crowd either because the higher-ups running the broadcast completely rejected it too. Like Joe Rogan, a dude who usually likes to joke around on the mic, he completely shut it down. He tried to snatch the microphone away, and he didn't even acknowledge the comment at all. He just immediately wrapped up the interview. And even Dana White was texting media outlets right after that event to distance himself, saying that remark was nasty. And we're seeing this pattern everywhere now, because I noticed that when people don't have nothing meaningful to say, they resort to saying something shocking and fucked up just to get a reaction. It's just like some of these modern TikTok stand-up comedians you see going viral every single day. They spend half their set roasting people in the front row because they don't actually have any real material. They can't write a brilliant joke to save their life, so they attack someone's outfit or appearance just to get a cheap, easy gasp from the room. And that's exactly what Josh Hoke did. He didn't have the deep thoughts or the right words to explain how big and massive it was to beat a legend like Derek Lewis on that line. So instead of giving a great speech that everybody's going to remember, he took the easy way out and made a cheap, lazy joke about Michelle Obama. And that's the ultimate sign of a man who's just empty inside. A man who was just repeating what he heard. He ain't some damn revolutionary. He ain't some fearless truth teller. He's just a dude who spent too much time scrolling through the dark corners of the internet, picked up a dusty, damn near 20-year-old rumor, and brought it back on national TV like it was a brand new thought. And that's just the real shame of the internet today. It takes grown men and elite professional athletes, guys at the absolute peak of their physical power, to turn them into nothing but basic echo chambers. He had the whole world watching him in a historic moment, but instead of giving us his perspective or his story, he just gave us this recycled, copy-pasted comment section. And it's like, when you let the internet think for you, you don't look tough, you look empty. And honestly, this is just pitiful and sad, because Michelle Obama does not look like a man. She's a beautiful, elegant black woman. And that's exactly why that joke felt so desperate and fell so flat. Because this sister has spent years on the world stage showcasing nothing but poise, elegance, and absolute class. She carries herself with dignity, whether she's at a former state dinner or just speaking to everyday people. And the fact that people have to make up these ridiculous rumors just to put her down just shows you how insecure they really are. It ain't got nothing to do with her looks. It's just a lazy, weak attempt to attack a successful, graceful black woman. And that's just the bottom line. I mean, this whole situation proves that the tide is finally turning. And people are waking up to this absolute emptiness of the shock factor, because we're getting tired of the cheap tricks, the lazy insults, and the internet trolls. People want substance. They want real stories, and they want something authentic. They want something real, because the old formula just ain't working anymore. But that's just my take. See y'all on the next one. Peace.